Stocks were down on Wall Street. The Dow Jones Industrials closed around 1247, down 4.06. The average price per share down 24 cents on the New York Exchange, where the volume today was 108 million shares. Wall Street on this World Tonight. What to do about taxes? There's a $200 billion deficit in the federal budget, and there are dire predictions that it will go even higher if no one has the courage to raise taxes. Since everyone is reluctant to raise taxes with a presidential election coming up, the talk today was of tax reform. Jacqueline Adams reports from Capitol Hill.
The budget that the House and Senate approved this year calls for $73 billion in new revenues over the next 3 years. But the tax writers in Congress have been unable, without the support of President Reagan, to make much of a dent in that number. House Ways and Means Committee leaders today presented their best effort, roughly $9.4 billion worth of tax reforms over 3 years that will have virtually no effect on individual taxpayers. Barbara Conable felt the Republicans could support the bill.
Most of the Republicans did not vote for the budget proposal. It's to be assumed they would not be enthusiastic about major tax increases. But what we've got here is, because it is not a major revenue raiser, but despite the fact that it represents things that needed to be done, is something that I would hope the bulk of the Republicans can support.
The tax bill is expected to come to the floor for a vote next week, but at that time, members are also expected to have a chance to vote on a full $73 billion package, soon to be put together by Democratic freshmen. Jacqueline Adams, CBS News on Capitol Hill.
The Nicaraguan rebels, the so-called Contras, are trying hard to disrupt the Sandinista government's economy now. Last week, they struck at the country's oil supply, but apparently without as much success as was first reported. Richard Wagner reports from the capital city of Managua.
Despite rumors to the contrary, the CIA supported attack last week on the key Nicaraguan seaport of Corinto has not brought this country's economy immediately to its knees. In the midnight raid, more than 2 million gallons of fuel were destroyed, but the flames did not spread to the cargo area. CBS News has been able to visit Corinto and watch cargo ships being unloaded, including one flying the flag of North Korea. Oil imports, however, have been suspended temporarily because of threats made against inbound tankers by anti-government forces. In this country's marketplace, there is more than enough food and clothing for sale. In fact, the food situation is better now than what we observed here in midsummer. But this is not to say Nicaragua's economy is not threatened. It is. In-country oil reserves will not last much more than a month. If oil imports do not resume before then, and if anti-Sandinista forces succeed in destroying the only bridge linking Corinto's arriving cargo to the mainland, Nicaragua's economy will be in very deep trouble indeed. Richard Wagner, CBS News, Managua, Nicaragua.
More than 3,000 demonstrators defied police on the Caribbean island of Grenada today and freed Prime Minister Maurice Bishop from house arrest. His freedom ended quickly, though. Troops backing a coup attempt opened fire on the demonstrators, killing at least 4 of them, and the Prime Minister was arrested again. The World Tonight continues in a moment.
There's big NFL excitement coming up. This Sunday night, undefeated Dallas takes on the Los Angeles Raiders. CBS Radio sportscasters Lindsey Nelson and Jim Kelly there in Texas Stadium for all the action. Then Monday night, the Giants go to St. Louis to meet the Cardinals. Jack Buck and Hank Stram on the scene for you. Dick Stockton opens each game, and you'll hear Brent Musburger at halftimes. Sunday night, the Raiders at Dallas. Monday night, the Giants at St. Louis. All on the CBS Radio Network. It's something special.
You can better appreciate your American heritage by visiting Revolutionary and Civil War battlefields. Books from the United States Government Printing Office can help you understand those days and the sacrifices they demanded, with a series that examines battlefields from the huts of Valley Forge to the heights at Vicksburg. These books are listed in a new catalog that contains nearly 1,000 of the government's bestsellers. For your free copy of this new catalog, write New Catalog, Superintendent of Documents, Washington, D.C. 20402.
They call it Silicon Valley, and it's back in the news this week because a man named James Harper is accused of stealing secrets there and selling them to the Kremlin by way of a Polish go-between. Barry Peterson has more on Silicon Valley.
This latest high-tech spying case has the Silicon Valley abuzz, and from security experts, there is renewed criticism about security in the high-tech firms. These are America's technological crown jewels, warn experts, and they're being plucked with uncomfortable ease. Some sell out for money, simple greed. People or companies that ship products overseas knowing the products will eventually end up in unfriendly hands. Some material is stolen from companies who may or may not think that carefully about security, who may gloss over even the basics like checking out new employees. It's enough, said one expert, to make any security person break out in a cold sweat. Secrets have always been hard to keep in this fast-moving world of electronics. Executives move from company to company or leave and start up their own firms, taking knowledge and secrets with them. The stakes run into the millions of dollars. But what angers the experts and the U.S. government is the casual regard for national security. If they don't do a better job, warned a defense consultant, by the year 2000 they won't be around because there'll be nothing left. Barry Peterson, CBS News, the Silicon Valley, California.
A Soviet space specialist said today it's absolutely untrue the two cosmonauts aboard the Salyut 7 have lost control of the space station and are stranded up there. The denial follows a report from London saying there's a propellant leak on the Salyut 7. And that's the world tonight, Wednesday, October 19th. Douglas Edwards, CBS News.
More than scores and results. Sports Talk is the